Y así que comenzamos con así, bien, ha refrescado algo porque tuvimos entre el 90, casi 90 grados, 92. Y pero cuando viene el viento y es el momento de la lectura. Entonces, vamos a tener la lectura con el protagonista. Déjenme regresar. Y exacto, porque el tiempo hemos llegado al último día de julio. Entonces nos quedamos mirando justamente aquí. Comenzamos. We are not just our behavior. Es página 93. We are the person managing our behavior. 94. Why 1 minute reprime work? If you realize that you are managing people and not just their recent behavior, the manager concluded, you will do well. It sounds like there's a lot of caring and respect behind such a reprime. The young man said, I am glad you noticed that, young man. You will be successful with the 1 minute reprime. When you really care about the welfare of the person you are reprimanding. That reminds me, the young man in Jedek, Mr. Libby told me that you pat him on the shoulder or shake hands or in some other way make contact with him during a present. And now I notice that the parents are encouraged to touch their children during the scalding. It's touching an important part of the 1 minute praisings and reprimands? Yes and no. The manager answered with a smile. Yes, if you know the person well and are clearly interested in helping the person to succeed in his or her work. And no, if you or the other person has any doubts about that. Touch is a very powerful message. Touch is a very powerful message. The manager pointed out people have strong feelings about being touched and that needs to be respected. Would you, for instance, like some whose motives you weren't sure of to touch you during a praising or a reprime? No, the young man answered clearly. I really would. 85. Why 1 minute reprimes work? You see what I mean? The manager explained touch is very honest. People know immediately when you touch them whether you care about them or whether you are just trying to find a new way to manipulate them. There is a very simple rule about touching. The manager continued. When you touch, don't take. Touch the people you manage only when you are giving them something. Reassurance, support, encouragement, whatever. So you should refrain from touching someone. The omens say until you know them and they know you are interested in their success, that you are clearly on their side. I can see that. But the omens say hesitantly, While the 1 minute prices and the 1 minute reprimes look simple enough, aren't they really just powerful ways for you to get people to do what you want them to do? And isn't that manipulative? You are right about 1 minute manager being a powerful way to get people to do what you want them to do. The manager confirmed. However, 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 manipulation is getting people to do something they are either not aware of or don't agree to. That is why it is so important to let each person know upfront what you are doing and why. 96. Why 1 minute reprimes work? It's like anything else in life, the manager explaining. There are things that work and things that don't work. Being honest with people eventually works. On the other hand, as you have probably learned in your one life, being dishonest eventually leads to fighting with people. It is just that simple. I can see now the young men say, where the power of your management style comes from, you care about people. Yes, the manager says simple. I guess I do. The young man remembered how gruff he thought this special manager was when he first Meet him. I was astounded the manager could read his mind. Sometimes, volveré, me llaman, un momento. Y continuamos. Dice, yes, the manager says simple. I guess I do. The young man remembered how gruff he thought this special manager was when he first met him. It was as though the manager could read his mind. Sometimes the 1 minute manager say, you have to care enough to be tau. And I am. I am very tau on the pure performance, but only on the performance. I am never tau on the person. The young man, like the 1 minute manager, he knew now why people like to work with him. Maybe you will find this interesting, sir. The younger man said as he pointed, pointed to his notebook. It is a plague I've created to remind me of how goals, the 1 minute goals and consequences, the presence and the reprimes affect people's behavior. Goals begin behaviors, consequences maintain behaviors. Y continuamos 98. Why minor reprimes work? That's very good, the manager exclaimed. Do you think so? The young man asked, wanting to hear to compliment once again. Young man. Estamos leyendo inglés, de acuerdo. A ver, repite, hijito. Young man. Young man. The manager said very slowly for emphasis. It is not my role in life to be a human tape recorder. I do not have time to continually repeat myself. Just when they thought he would be praised, the young man felt he was in for another 1 minute reprieve, something he wanted to avoid. The bright young man kept a straight face and said simply, what? They looked at each other only for a moment and they And then they both burst into laughter. I like you, young man, the manager said. How would you like to go to work here? The young man put down his notebook and stared in amazement. You mean go to work for you? He asked enthusiastically. No, I mean go to work for yourself like the other people in my department. Nobody ever really works for anybody else. I just help people work better and the process they benefit our organization. Cognado, recuerdan, se ven parecido, se escuchan similar, parecido mucho, significan lo mismo, pero en otro idioma. Tema cognados y hoy finalizamos. Estoy feliz por completar mi plan del mes. Leer el libro de One Minute Manager. Repito, I just help people work better and in the process they benefit our organization. This was, of course, what the young man had been looking for all along. I'd love to work here, he said, and so he did for some time. The time the special manager had invested in him paid off because eventually the inevitable happened. He became a one-minute manager. Entonces, miren, 100, the new one-minute manager. He became a one-minute manager not because he thought like one or talked like one, but he behaved like one. He set 1 minute goals, he gave 1 minute presents, he gave 1 minute reprimes. He asked brief, important questions, spoke the simple truth, our worker and enjoy it. And perhaps most important of all, he encouraged the people he worked with to do the same. He had even created a pocket size game plan to make it easier for the people around him to become 1 minute managers. He had given it as a useful gift to each person who reported to him. Y dice, a gift to yourself, 101. Y miren, justo aquí, a very brief summary of the 1 minute manager's game plan. How, how to give yourself, ay, veré aquí. How to give yourself others the gift of getting greater results in less time. Set goals. Praise and reprime behaviors. Encourage people. Speak the truth. Love, work, enjoy. And encourage the people you work with to the same as you do. Start. Y bueno, es una, digamos, un diagrama, una forma de cómo comienzas. Dice start with, set new goals a la izquierda, a la derecha review clearly, agree on the goals, 1 minute goals, on the sheet, read in 1 minute, y entonces goals achieve, or any part to the goals, you win. Proceed to 1 minute praising, praise the behavior with the feelings to be specific. Tell the person that they did right and how you feel about it. Encourage the person did through feelings, snake hands and process with success. Y aquí miren en la parte derecha en 1 minute goals tenemos la parte de goals not achieved. You lose. Go back to goals 1, the process 2, 1 minute reprimes, repriming behavior with the true feelings. Be it soon, be specific. Tell the person what they did wrong and how you feel. And how you feel about. Encourage the person through feelings, shake hand and return to start. Y bueno, básicamente vamos a terminar con esta parte o dice many years later the man looked back on the time when he first heard of the principles of 1 minute management. It seemed like a long time ago. He was glad he had written down that he learned for the 1 minute manager. He had put his note into a book and had given copies to many people. He remembered Mrs. Gomez telephoning to say, I can't send you a note. It's made a big difference in my work. They blessed him. As he thought back on the past, he smiled. He remembered how much he had learned from the original 1 minute manager, and he was grateful. The new manager was also happy that they could take the knowledge and one step further. By giving copies to many other people in the organization, he had solved several practical problems. A gift to yourself, 100. Ay, ay, ay. 3. Ay, ¿qué pasa aquí? Sí. Everyone who worked with him feels secure. No one felt manipulated or threatened because everyone knew upfront what, what he was doing and why. They could so also see why the seemingly simple 1 minute management techniques, goals, praises, and reprimes work so well with people. Every person who had their one copy of the text could read and reread it at their own pace until they could understand it and put it to good use themselves. The manager knew full well the very practical advantage the repetition and learning anything new. Sharing the knowledge in this simple and honest way had, of course, saved him a good deal of time, and it had certainly made his job easier. Many of the people reporting to him had become 1 minute managers themselves. Casi terminamos.
Es que quiero.
Oh, de acuerdo. Ahorita la muestras. And they, in turn, had done the same for many of the people who reported to them. The entire organization had become more effective. Y dice, as he sat at his desk thinking, the new 1 minute manager realized what a fortunate individual he was. He had given himself the gift of getting greater results in less time. He had time to think and to plans to give his organization the kind and help it needed. He had time to exercise and stay healthy. He knew he did not experience the daily emotional and physical stress other managers subjected themselves to. And they knew that many of the other people who worked with him enjoyed the same benefits. His department had fewer costly personality turnovers, less personal illness, and less absence. The benefits were significant. As he looked back, he was glad he had not waited to use 1 minute management until he thought he could do it just right. After his staff had read about this management system, he had asked each person who reported to him if they would like to be managed by a 1 minute manager. He was amazed to learn that there was something that people really wanted even more than learning how to become a 1 minute manager themselves, and that was to have one for a boss. Once he knew this, was a lot easier for him to clearly tell his staff that he wasn't sure that they could do it just exactly the way he was supposed to. I'm not accustomed to a gift for others. 150. I am not accustomed to telling people how good they or how I feel about things, he had said. And I am not sure I can remember to count them after I given someone a reprimand and reminded them of how good they are as a person. The typical answer for his associates had caused him to smile. Well, you could at least give it a try by simply asking if his staff wanted to be managed by a 1 minute manager and by admitting that he might not always be able to do it right, he had accomplished something very important. The people he worked with felt that he was honestly on their side from the very beginning, and that made all the difference. Then the new 1 minute manager got up from his desk and began to walk about his uncluttered office. He was deep in thought. He felt good about himself as a person and us as a manager. His caring about people had paid off handsomely. He had risen in the organization, gaining more responsibilities and more rewards. And he knew he had become an effective manager because both his organization and his people it had clearly benefited from his presence. Suddenly, page 106. Suddenly, oh come on. Suddenly, the intercom buzzed and startled the man. Excuse me, sir, for interrupting you. He heard his secretary say, but there is a young woman on the phone. She wants to know if she can come and talk to you about the way we manage people here. The new 1 minute manager was blessed. He knew more women were entering the business world, and he was glad that some of them were as keen to learn about good management as he had been. The manager's department has now running smoothly. As you might expect, it was one of the best operations of its kind in the world. His people were productive and happy, and he was happy too. It felt good to be in his position. Come anytime, he heard himself telling the caller, and soon the phone himself at and soon he found himself talking to a bright young person. I am glad to share my management secrets with you, the new 1 minute manager said as he showed two visitors to his couch. I will only make one request of you. What is what? The visitor asked. Simply, the manager began. Then you share it with others. Share it with others. Y me gusta, les digo en inglés, share es el verbo compartir con otros. Share it with others. Y mi parte favorita, gracias a ustedes y a mi dedicación. Todo es tiempo, dedicación y esfuerzo, que Aisha lo dice mucho. Y cuando termina la historia o un libro, dice the end, el fin. Mañana daremos un breve comentario, cómo me sentí. A ustedes gracias por acompañarme. Si ya te suscribiste, gracias. Si no lo has hecho, te invitamos. Disfruten. Gracias, Julio, por todo. Cuando se va un gran amigo, Julio, es mi forma de decir, no volverá el tiempo que ya vivimos, y por eso si no has comenzado a dedicar tiempo y a ir conquistando tus sueños, puedes comenzar hoy, cuando estés mirando el video, porque el tiempo que ya pasó no volverá. El presente y lo que decidas a partir de ahora marcará la transformación de tu vida. The end.